one of the major barriers that we've identified is that there's a lot that happens upfront before you can even go and apply for external funding, right? So you need to get the right people at the table. You need to gain trust. You need to co-develop an ethical relationship. So we're not talking about when academics fly in, extract data from a community, write a peer-reviewed article, write that one paragraph at the end of a policy recommendation and fly out. That does not help anybody. That is not an ethical relationship. Really learning about policy needs before you launch the project or even seek external funding. So listening, right, which is not always a fundamental academic skill. Well, actually, we've been using both internal as well as external resources for training. So externally, we've been using the Scholar Strategy Network training, which has been very useful in terms of thinking about how to even approach policymakers, how do you talk to policymakers. There's also internally, we have a training called Runway to Broader Impacts that's funded by the National Science Foundation. And so this training is actually bringing in faculty from engineering, from the College of Science, to be thinking about the societal impacts by actually talking to people. It's a wild idea. So there are a lot of resources, but I do think a key part of this is that there has to be coaching. You can't just give someone a training and then leave them on their own, because there's lots of pitfalls. There's lots of things that change and moving parts with this work that really comes from just the experience. And so that's why SSN, Scholar Strategy Network, now has a coaching component to it. So we're going to have them coach our policy fellows, but also, again, that multi-generational team to have an experienced researcher working alongside with a junior researcher to really coach them through how these interactions look, I think is key.
And I will also to echo what Alicia said about the coaching for thinking about building relationships and capacity building. The Scholar Strategy Network is a great organization at doing this. If you don't have a chapter at your campus, identify a local chapter or reach out to them about starting a chapter on your campus to support that work.